Welcome back to another video on the channel today. Today, of course, as always, we're back in the seat. We're back talking about Wrexham Football Club. Today, I'm bringing you sort of a roundup as to what's happened over the past week at Wrexham Football Club. We're going to be giving a review on that incredible team performance at home to Exeter City. We're going to be talking about our EFL Trophy draw, someone that's on trial at Wrexham Football Club, a loan watch, and some general news regarding Wrexham. So it's a bumper pack video. Make sure to get down there and click the red subscribe button. We're on the road to 26,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you enough for the support you've shown the channel over the past couple of weeks. And without further ado, let's get talking Wrexham Football Club. Starting off with our really good 3-0 victory over Exeter City at the Racecourse Ground on Saturday. A game that I was going into feeling very curious about how Wrexham would perform, because going into this we saw Exeter, they had the best defensive record in the league, and with the goal not coming from a striker for Wrexham since our away trip to Rotherham, I thought it was going to be a very, very tough test, of course, with Exeter having a really good defence and with Wrexham strikers not being on the greatest of forms. But how wrong was I? Now, I thought the start to the game was one of our best starts we've had to a game this season. On the front foot from the off, really going for it and really good attacking wise, using the wing play, creating plenty of chances and really just uneasing the Exeter City defence. And if we're looking at the stats from the opening half, we had 9 shots, 3 big chances created, and we limited Exeter City from doing anything major when going forward. I think we had 0 shots on target in the first half. So, we were good defensively, and then going forward, we were so effective, of course, getting those 2 first half goals through Palmer and Max Cleworth. But I thought, like I said, I've got my notes here, we were massively on the front foot in the first 10 minutes. We were so good, really electrifying, and we were rewarded in the first 10 minutes for all the pressure that we did put on the Exeter City defence, of course, through that Max Cleworth header from a really good Elliot Lee corner. So, it was a good start. Exeter City, I think, sort of not calmed the game down after that, but the tempo was slightly dropped. But soon after, Ryan Barnett got the ball down that right-hand side, one touch, straight on the money for Ollie Palmer's head. Ollie Palmer couldn't have had an easier header to put home. Don't get me wrong, it was still a good header. He still obviously had to score the goal, but it was on a plate for Ryan Barnett. And of course, I dropped the video, the analysis one, on Ryan Barnett yesterday after that. And, he is just on an incredible run of form at the minute, and he's doing what he does best, putting crosses into the box, getting the assist to his name. I think that's 7 goals and assists for Barnett so far this season. So he is setting League One on fire, and again, we are so lucky to have a player of his quality going forward. And I think as well, it's no secret that attacking the tech end has a huge impact on the players and the performance, and I think that's definitely played a big part as to how quickly we started the first half. Of course, going in 2 goals ahead, I think, when they're attacking the tech end and when the team switch around, Wrexham almost want to make that sort of statement that it doesn't really make a difference what end they attack, and if they do switch, that it's not going to make an impact, because we were just so on the front foot, really up for it. And of course, we got the 2 goals. It was a great showing in front of goal. It was a great showing defensively. Of course, Callum Burton, I thought, had another really good game. And if we are looking at the second half, obviously Exeter had the control of the possession, as we can see by the statistics. They had 1 or 2 chances where, you sort of thought they might have had a chance. One of them I thought was a clear foul on Callum Burton. The player was stood right on his toes, grabbing hold of him. But again, you could argue that there's overprotection for goalkeeper these days. But I think that's an instance where it was a clear foul. And if they would have gone on to score for it, there would have been questions raised. But again, we can't complain too much. We've come out 3-0 winners. And you can see why Exeter City have scored very few goals this season. They had no outlet up top. There was nothing that I thought they're going to go up and score a goal. And certainly didn't help, of course, playing 1 up front, Josh McGuinness, against 3 physical defenders in, of course, Cleworth, O'Connell and Lewis Brunt, who I thought all had a very, very good game. So when you're limited and when you're coming up against 3 defenders like them, it is going to be a bad day at the office. And I thought they shut down Josh McGuinness, who, don't get me wrong, is a good, well-known, prolific EFL striker in the past. We shut him down really, really well. And in the second half, Rathbone completed a hat-trick of headers from a James McLean corner. I'd love to know the last time Wrexham won a game and all of the goals came from a header. I think it'd be more of a question, when was the last time Wrexham scored a hat-trick of headers in a game? I can't really remember off the top of my head, and I think you'll have to go back many years to find it. But obviously that Rathbone header capped off a really, really good game. And like I said, I wasn't too sure beforehand how we do against a team like Exeter, who had a very good defensive record, who had a good goalkeeper, 9 clean sheets in 14 games going into this. But it was one of our best team performances I've seen in a long while, and you can see by the stats, I think every player got a 7+ average rating. So it was a game where all 11 players on that pitch played a massive part in the victory. Two players I would like to highlight. Matty James, I thought looked very, very good on the ball. He isn't, of course, a pressing midfielder. We knew when he first signed, we heard from the Bristol City fans that you're not going to get a midfielder that's going to run his socks off for 90 minutes, that's going to be that presser, a bit like Ollie Rathbone, but you're going to get a player that's got really good ability on the ball, a great passer, and, you know, like I said, his ability to make that cross-field pass, or just his quality on the ball, I think really makes up for that, not being able to press and give that full 90 minutes like Rathbone does. But he reminds you a bit of Sergio Busquets. I know it's a bit of a rogue comparison, but he just reminds you of Busquets. Just good on the ball, neat and tidy on the ball, and yeah, a really, really good home debut for Matty James. And another player that had his first league start of the season, Lewis Brunt, and I thought, of course, coming into his first game, it's a big game against Exeter City, and I thought he slotted into that backline really, really well. He was good in the air, won plenty of headers, and I think he deserves to keep his place in the backline for Tuesday night's fixture at home to Lincoln. So overall, a very, very pleasing performance. I thought, like I said, it was one of our best team performances we've seen this season, and let's hope we can massively build on that on Tuesday night, because again, it's not going to be an easy game. Lincoln City are in and around there. If I'm right in saying they are actually sat in the playoffs, so it's a massive, massive game. It's the rearranged one. Tuesday night, you're going to get a really good atmosphere in the Racecourse Ground. We need to make it hostile like we have done all throughout this season, and you know, we've got a good home record. Let's spur the players on even more, and let's make the Racecourse more of a fortress than it already is. You can guarantee on a Tuesday night it's going to be a vibrant atmosphere inside the Racecourse Ground. So moving on to the next topic now. Away from that 3-0 victory, we've been drawn at home to Crewe Alexandra in the newly named Virtue Trophy. Yes, of course, it was previously named the Bristol Street Motors, but for some reason they've had a mid-season change in name. It's now the Virtue Trophy, so not to get mixed up with any other competitions, this is the one where, of course, we beat Wolves under 21s, Port Vale and Salford City. So, you know, I think Crewe is one of the better teams we could have drawn in this. I think some of the teams we could have drawn were Huddersfield, Bradford and Crewe. There was another team in there, but I can't quite remember who it was. So, you know, we've drawn that League 2 team. They're doing quite well in League 2, so I'm sure they'll probably field a strong-ish team now that we are in the knockout round. So yeah, it's another chance to get that one step closer to that Wembley trip and that Wembley day out, and this game is obviously set to be played on the 10th of December. There's no guarantee that'll be the date. It could be a day before, it could be a day after, so we'll have to wait and see for that. Obviously, this competition is not a really nailed on main priority for Phil Parkinson, and I think it is a prime opportunity to use, you know, the players that aren't getting much game time. But as we get further into the competition, I'd like to see us give it a really good go. Of course, at the end of it, there is that stake to win a trophy and of course that Wembley trip. So yeah, it's a competition that I would like to get far in, obviously if we do progress into the latter rounds of the tournament. So Crewe Alexandra at home, yeah, a very, very winnable game, and we'll have to wait and see if we do progress to the next round. So moving on to some quite interesting news now. Son of former Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester City defender Kolo Touré is currently on trial at Wrexham Football Club. 18-year-old Yassine Touré has been at Leicester City and Celtic youth setups in the past, and now he is looking to secure a professional contract at a team, and that could be Wrexham, because like I said, he's been on trial for the past week. And yeah, this is definitely some very interesting bit of news. Not one I was expecting, and one I was quite shocked to see come out last week. Touré is a player that mostly plays up front but can operate on the wing. So it's going to be very interesting to see what comes of this. Is there much to Touré as a player? Could he be a player that, you know, there is potential there to be a League One quality striker? It's definitely an interesting situation. Or is he going to be a player that is going to be sort of used for the cup competitions or go into the youth setup? So yeah, definitely interesting to see what comes of this Touré on trial at Wrexham. Moving on now to one of my favourite parts of these videos, a loan watch, because of late it seems to be our loanees have been doing very, very well, and there's only one person that we are going to start off this loan watch with, and it is Super Sam Dolby up in Scotland for Dundee United. Yet another goal for Dolby on the weekend. This time it was in Dundee United's big clash away at Rangers at Ibrox. Dolby headed Dundee United into the lead in the first half. Rangers came back to secure a 1-1 draw, but Dolby scoring on the big stage away at Ibrox. I think I did actually say when Dolby first signed for Dundee United, imagine if he scores a big goal against Celtic or Rangers. So imagine if Sam Dolby gets on the score sheet against Rangers. That would be incredible. He's certainly done it in the big game for Dundee United, and it's hopefully going to be the start of many goals for Dolby. I think it's 4 in his last 4, and I think he's got 5 goals now for Dundee United, so he's having a really successful stay up there. And I do think Dundee United can actually offer Dolby a pre-contract on the 1st of January if Wrexham don't offer him fresh terms and a contract extension. So it's definitely an interesting situation to keep your eye on. Would you keep Sam Dolby if he carries on this rich vein of form? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Dundee United stay 4th after that valuable point away at Rangers. Jake Bickerstaff is the next player. Now, despite being defeated 2-1 away at Aldershot Town, Bickerstaff scored his first goal on loan at Altrincham. Coming off the bench with 24 minutes to go, Bickerstaff scored a consolation in the last minute for Alty, so it's good to see that he's finally off the mark after games and games of not scoring, not playing. So hopefully this sort of makes a statement to Altrincham manager Phil Parkinson as to why Bickerstaff should be a starting striker, and let's hope this is the start of a flurry of goals for Bickerstaff at Altrincham. Jordan Davis. Now, it's been a while since I have reported on Davis. Of course, he suffered that injury away at Notts County earlier on in the season, but Davis came off the bench for the second game running for Grimsby Town. They lost at home to Colchester United, but I think the overall thing to gain from this is the fact Davis is back. Davis is back on the pitch for Grimsby Town. He's back to full fitness, so that's only a bonus, and I think it was quicker than what I was first expecting. I wasn't expecting Davis to possibly be back by the end of the year, but he's back playing at the end of November, and let's hope he can get back into that starting 11 and carry on the really good form he had at the start of his loan spell. Billy Waters and Luke McNicholas were not in action this weekend, as both of their games were called off due to the weather, because we had some horrific weather, as you might have seen from the Wrexham game. So of course a big shout out to Paul Challoner, the groundsman at Wrexham, for getting the game on, because there were a whole host of games across the country that were postponed due to the weather. So yeah, a big well done to them. And it was just a relatively successful week for our loanees, personnel wise. Of course, Bickerstaff getting on the score sheet, Dolby scoring his 5th goal up in Scotland, Davis coming back. So yeah, let's hope all these loanees can continue their good form. So moving on to the final bit of news on today's video, Wrexham have confirmed a new pop-up shop in Eagles Meadow over the Christmas period. Now, Eagles Meadow is a shopping centre located in the heart of Wrexham, which has sort of been on the down the last couple of years. So bringing Wrexham and the Football Club of Wrexham into the centre of Eagles Meadow will hopefully drive more people to come and visit the shopping centre. So I think in a way this sort of does revitalise, Eagles Meadow as a shopping centre, but more importantly, of course, it's bringing Wrexham Football Club away from the small club shop they already do have. And of course, it looks to be for old training wear and accessories. So it's not a shop where you're going to find all of this season's shirts, training wear. It just looks to be a shop where they're bringing all the old stock to free up new space back at the club, of course, for this season's stock. Of course, they're bringing in all the new training wear. I think they've got 3 designs of the training shirts and the quarter zips. So yeah, they're going to have a lot of stock in. So moving all of the old stock out makes a massive sense. And of course, bringing it into the city centre of Wrexham makes even more sense. And I think the eventual plan will be to get a permanent shop in Eagles Meadow, or whether it be away from Eagles Meadow, the plan will be for Wrexham to secure another big shop to stock, of course, this season's shirts and this season's training wear and anything related with Wrexham, because we've seen the club shop, everyone knows it by now. It is very small, and I think they will struggle as time goes on to, of course, obtain the stock levels that are coming into Wrexham. So getting that extra shop to stock them will be a massive help. And I think it is a question as to when Wrexham will secure that new shop to secure this stock. Whether it'll be in the new year, we really don't know. So this is a good start. At least we can see that there is a direction as to where Wrexham want to go in securing a new shop. So yeah, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, make sure to get down there and of course click the red subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section down below your predictions for tomorrow's game at home to Lincoln City. It's going to be a tough one. Of course, I thought Exeter was going to be tough. We rolled them over 3-0, so I think Lincoln will be a bit different. I think they'll give us more of a test going forward. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to give a boring 1-0 score prediction. I never give predictions, so touch wood that I have not jinxed that. But yeah, let me know, of course, in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in another video. Take care, guys. Up the town.